the slide just to see on your screen. So the objective of this 6-week training is at least to introduce myself, Kenneth Bubea, the user engagement manager, working with Edward Boma, based in Ghana. So we are split in the two parts of the continent to be able to give you more feedback faster. So the DA Africa, we have the platform, as you can see from the webpage, where you can access the products. We see how we can engage. And also we have the WhatsApp group to help us do more engagements in terms of interactions. So the training itself has been able to give you an overview of the objectives, the structure of the training, the overview, and where to ask in case you have help. And as objectives of the training, as I earlier mentioned on, you're able to look at the DA platform, having the various interfaces, the map view, the sandbox. I think we have everyone on this group registered on the sandbox, which is very good news. Thank you so much. We have various good data sets, Landsat, Sentinel-2. You can work with various different data sets and optimally work on different use cases that we can work together with you, and you can actually do more in terms of publication. So an overview is that the training is online, self-paced. You have the access to the material. You've been able to look at the material. Then we have this live session to help us to get more feedback on the training, maybe look at some of the issues that you experience and share with us, and we're able to sort them out. So 6-week training covering the different time zones. And at the end of the training, you'll get a certificate of completion. Also, my colleague will talk about the survey, which will be sent to you shortly. And so the DEA platform, as I mentioned earlier on, gives you an overview of how you can use Earth observations for SDGs, working from agriculture, water, urbanization, forest, land degradation, mangroves, etc., etc. You have access to the various data sets using the map platform. There's a sandbox for analysis, and also you can download and you can add your own data. So the DA platform gives us an opportunity to work with many users on the cloud, running everything on the Amazon Cloud Service, a limited number of users, many more opportunities. So this is the interface is a nutshell. You've been able to look at all of these three. And the opportunity is that you'll be able to become very proficient, and very soon you'll be able even to train your colleagues and do much more in terms of publications. So the data sets we have is for the whole continent, having Sentinel-2, Landsat. Landsat is currently for the 5 countries that we are currently from right now. And we are planning to add more of this data on the Landsat from this month. This is a very good month, a big month, as also the big month that you have actually started the training. Sentinel-2 is already there, even up to yesterday, so it's updated every often. That we have an image of that area you are focusing on from 2017 January, so you can actually do much more. You also have the interface for the APIs, so this is application programming interface. If you want to add data from other sources, including your own data from your own desktop, you can be able to access that and do much more. We are very happy to work with our partners from Esri. We have the Africa Geo Portal. We also have our data that you can actually use to access it from other platforms. This is where you can actually get help. You have our emails, you even have access to the training email, and we have the wiki where we can give you more information, including Slack, and also I think maybe sometimes on the WhatsApp group that we have, including some posts like what was posted by our colleague today, Wallace from Ghana. So at this point, I just wish to be very grateful that you've joined us, and I think we are starting to hear your remarks. But just before that, Edward wanted to give us an overview of the survey, of which I'll just give him the opportunity to share his screen.
Okay, thank you, Ken. So I think last night, or yesterday, Cedric sent out a survey form to each and every one of us. The main purpose of the form is to help us get feedback also from your end when you were going through the live section. So it will help us know where we should improve based on the survey that we submitted to you yesterday. I've also pasted it in the chat below right now. So please, if you haven't gotten the chance to fill the survey, during this live session, you can also pin the survey from the Google Docs and also start filling it. And at the end of the day, to also help us to improve this training section and also in the live session throughout the 6 weeks that we are going to have. Thank you very much. Okay, Ken.
Thank you very much, Edward. So at least the survey is there for us to give us more feedback and also including this platform. August, would you have any comment for us before we get the comments from our participants? Thank you.
No, I think I just repeat what Edward said. I think it would be great to get survey responses. Just so everybody knows, the survey is anonymous. We won't know who you are when you fill out the survey. So please, it's useful for us if you write something. You know, if something you don't like, you want more live sessions, less something, etc. Just write as much as possible. I think that would be very helpful for us. Otherwise, I think this is going great.
Thank you very much, August. I think also as we move forward, we can see by a show of hands how many of you have been able to access the sandbox. So I think it's everybody. It's an interesting feature on your Zoom that you can raise your hand. I think I've seen David Ongo. Like sometimes you might not find the raise hand, but you can put a thumb on your screen if you've been able to access the sandbox. I remember Madam Career had an issue with the sandbox, and that was we were able to resolve that. So the others, Charles, you've been able to see the sandbox, and the others. So I think from the silence, I think most of you have been able to look at the sandbox. Thank you so much. I think Professor Jacqueline had a query or question, please.
Yes, no, it was just it was just that we did section 1 so last week and getting into the sandbox, and then it says that sessions 2 to 7, I think, or 2 to 6 will be coming. So do you have any idea about when they will come?
Yeah, it'll come tonight. Edward is working very hard to push the link and be there like just today. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thanks.
So anyone else with a reaction, or we close early so that you can start working on the materials?
I had an issue concerning the platform. It gives you an error which I sent to Edward, and he wanted me to bring it up on the group when we start the discussion. When you query it, it gives you a chance to restart. And when you click on it, it gives you a blank page. You refresh it, and then it comes back, and then all you've done with the input of the coordinates goes off. You have to start all over again.
Thank you very much, Wallace. I think Edward had prepared the response. Thank you, Edward.
Okay, so Walter,
yes, sir.
hello, Wallace. Please, yeah. So one thing I noticed was before you run it, when you ran it, were you running it step by step, or you ran all of them at a go?
I did it step by step, and I got the error. I ran it all at a go. That's when you go to the kernel and say, run all.
Okay, so one of the things that I would like to show is, please let me share my screen quickly.
Now, I think before you address, let me bring my issues, then you go by one.
Oh, okay, no problem.
And the second one is, for instance, when you give the codes and you want to export it into PDF, to get the codes in PDF, or that's when you go to the export notebook. It gives you a sequence of export files you can export into via HTML or however. I chose PDF, and it gave me an error. I wanted to know how we can share the files. For instance, if I save it, I need to save to be able to send it to you that I've done this, I have this error, and you can go through the codes for me. I think that would be it.
Yes, so I think on the export, we are working on the libraries for that. I think Oguz is preparing that response for you.
I was just about to check that. I will make sure that the export PDF libraries are installed. In the meantime, as a workaround, you can go to File, Print, and see if we choose Save as PDF. Actually, if you will give me a minute, I will show you what that workaround looks like. Hold on for 1 second. Hold on. Let me open a Digital Africa sandbox myself.
Yes, it's possible to print. I've just seen on the side.
Let me share my screen.
Okay, Oguz.
That it will. I will make sure in the background we have the correct libraries installed for export as PDF. I run into the same issue myself. Give me a second. I don't have the fastest internet connection either, unfortunately.
No, I think the extension of the PDF is not installed.
No, I know. I'm showing you a workaround because I've had to do the same thing yesterday.
Oh, okay.
I'm showing you something you can do while we get this going. As soon as I can log in. Meantime, let me.
Okay, you're saying we should go through the file and then save
and print.
That may not work directly. I will show you. I handle the exact same thing. So let's say we have the crop health notebook here, and if you go to File on your browser and say print, sometimes what happens, let me see if this will work. As a destination, instead of choosing a printer, you can choose Save as PDF. But what happens there is it just shows you the frame, which is not useful. It just won't let you scroll. So sometimes what you have to do is you have to click inside the browser, right click, or I have a Mac, so I had a control right click. And here, hopefully there will be a, just 1 second, because I had to do this exact same thing. So what's not working, right, is, oh yeah, I'll go to File, Print, from the notebook. There you go. See, now you have the entire notebook, and you can save. Okay. So it's kind of tricky. Printing from the browser menu does not work because the notebook is set up as a frame, and then another web page inside a frame, so it'll only print what you can see. What you have to do is you have to go to File inside the notebook itself, and then say Print, and then choose PDF as the destination. But I will bring this to the attention of the technical team immediately so that we have the right libraries installed to export as PDF. And you have this, and then you can say, you might have your printer selected, but it will have a PDF option. And then when I say save, it should ask me, say, wherever I want to save. In this case, it's, a folder I have, Digital Earth Africa Sandbox PDF, and it will save that. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. but I don't think it will work for everybody because Jupyter Notebook requires JavaScript, which needs to be enabled to proceed.
What was that?
The Jupyter Notebook requires JavaScript, which will enable it to proceed by giving you error 404, which wouldn't be found.
I don't think that will be a problem. I think once you have, I mean, if you can run the sandbox,
yeah,
you should be able to do this.
Okay.
And the PDF you export should now actually let me verify that. Let me verify that.
Okay.
Am I still sharing my screen? Yes, I am. Hold on. Let me just go there. Hold on. I could you be using more normal things? I'm used to the terminal. See, I opened the PDF and it's there. So this is just a regular PDF at this point. Like once you have told it to print from within the notebook file menu, not the browser file menu, this should work. This is a PDF that you can send to anyone anywhere in the world.
Okay.
Okay.
But feel free to, you know, if you have more problems, do feel free to contact me on WhatsApp. I'm there. I think my name should be registered, so feel free to send me a message and I'll see if I can troubleshoot for you.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Also, another workaround is what you can also do is when you click on the folder on the file that you are working on, and you right click, you see the option of download. You can also, once it downloads it for you, you can also share that notebook with everybody. Wherever you got stuck and there was error, when you share it with us, you'll be able to know where you got stuck and the error was. So with that, you can also play around with the code that we are already trying to manipulate it. We can also manipulate that thing to generate that same file format. So what I would like you to do right now is to, you know, the problem that you encountered yesterday. I just want you to download that notebook file for us right now and share it with us so that we can all open it up and try it at our end to also see the problem we are also encountering.
Okay.
When you click on that,
continue with the progress. I was able to work around it to correct the error. So I'll go back to the file. I tried copying it using screenshot because I couldn't download it to send to you. So I use screenshot. So I'll try this time around to see if I can save it the way he just explained and then send it to you.
Okay, that would be nice. Walter, you said there was a workaround on the first question. Can you share that one with us? How you were able to solve that error?
Okay, that came with the coordinates and the time sequence, the time at which the data was picked. When I queried, it did not go through, but looping through, I realized that the data was between 2013 and 2019, and it gives you a specific time frame where you can get that kind of data for the vegetation change detection. So I corrected the dates and placed the single date in between the exact two period, and it ran through without giving an error again, and I did a calculation.
Oh, okay. So the problem was with the date.
Yes, was it with the date and then the coordinates.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It worked for some other parts. It doesn't work for some other parts.
Okay, Walter.
Okay.
Thank you, Walter, for the very nice class demonstration. And this gives us an overview that some of us are really inside some of the tools, and also it gives us an opportunity to hear from any other participants. For example, I could show the example from Stella, just to see how we are able to have different scenarios of working. One of the opportunities is that what I'm sharing is just some work that someone else is doing, just to give us an idea of where that we will never be stuck anytime soon. We are able to conquer all these scenarios together. So for example, this is a map view on my screen, which gives us some idea. So Stella had some coordinates of some coffee farms around somewhere in Nairobi, central Kenya. And she had the data in a shapefile. So on your map view, you can actually add data from your local machine, and you can see the various options. So one opportunity is using your QGIS, which most of us have access. It's free. You can convert your shapefile to KML. And using that logic, I was able to add the KML files from her work, which are here, as you can see highlighted in red. So this gives you an idea of some farms. And looking at this idea of farms, I'm trying to relate to Wallace's question, where he's talking about the crop health. So looking at the crop health, you can just run it. And when you're running it, you just need to specify some of the coordinates. For example, this is just one point I've selected from the map view. For this case, the lat and the longitude. Then the buffer here is to explain is just to get a radius or a diameter around the same place that you're talking about. So for us, we are used to radius, some are diameter, some circumference, just to give you an overview of how it runs. So I'll go here and run it again, just to get an idea of how we can use the tool. I know maybe some of us have some land somewhere, just for experimental, you can look at the various scenarios. So this is using Lancet 8, measuring the crop health. It is able to run and gives you an opportunity to choose some farms individually. So the moment it's running, I think most of us have at least some internet from 10 MB or 5 MB. You can be able to run most of these tasks, as everything is being done on the cloud. And even one point, I think we'll be able to do this analysis even on your tablet. So it means technology is really moving from being very desktop savvy to relying on the cloud, on the web, to be able to do much more work in the fields. So the same work that was done here can be done anywhere else. And looking at the various notebooks on my left, there are many opportunities: water extent, looking at the water quality, etc., etc. This is just an example of what we have on the real world, and we have other files on the frequently used code. You can actually do more phenology, working with time, mining, creating even an animation of an area, etc., etc. Then we had the others for like data sets where you can actually get more on the fractional cover, soil moisture, etc., etc. We also have our previous notebooks from ARDC. They are here. They can just give you an idea of where your learning curves was then, but now the beauty with ARD Africa, you have access to already prepared scripts, which you just put in coordinates, and you can actually do much more, and even exporting like a GUTIF. So mine is running sometime. I think it's around lunch hour my area, so it's running at some point. Maybe as I wait for that, I can just show you some of the kind of the work that we were able to generate with the permission from Stella. Is it okay, Stella?
It's fine. Yep.
Okay. As much as you do this work, it's good to have the permission of many people, so that I am not looked at trying to show one side of the scenario. It's just one page which summarizes everything for everyone to get an overview of how far we can go with this kind of work. So I just wanted to create, show this one slide which summarizes everything. So the kind of work Stella was doing is just to get an overview of how you can get an assessment. And the same analysis that I was running was that I could be able to run it and be able to digitize small farms and get an overview of the NDVI plot And this is for a certain period of time, maybe from 2018 to even the beginning of this year. And you can see different plots based on the NDVI from 0 to 1, and the coffee is around this much of 0.5 to 0.7, just giving you an assessment of greenness or values. And the best thing is that we are all coming from different countries, and you know the phenology best, and also you know the weather patterns best. For example, you know the March, April, May rains, and October, November, depending on where you're coming from. And I think in some parts of Niger, you might have one season in a year. So we have different seasons. That is the diversity that we have in the group, which is very important, just as to show. So any other reaction as we continue? So it means everyone was happy with the short presentation, and also pretty much as we move forward, everyone.
Hello from my side, Kenneth.
Yes, sir.
Bashu Bangu IP Sierra Leone.
Yes, sir.
Of course, I am new to this whole thing, the Digital at Africa. You know, I was with the ERDC platform, which I have tried with the Jupyter Notebook. First of all, I did not get access to the training material you sent because I went to the website to see if I can get them, but I just saw the presentation, the introduction, and how to sign up to the Digital Earth Africa. So how can I get access to this training material? Because in the next session, I want to try one or two things, just like we did with ARDC, so that I can, yes, this was the screen that I saw on the website. Yes, I saw this one, but
yes, Bashiru. So this is the first session of the week, as you can see from the page, and from
yes,
today evening there'll be session 2, and every week we'll be adding more and more and more. And depending
okay.
on your learning curve, and every time you have a survey to submit, just to show us that you'll be able to see some progress.
All right, because I saw you presenting some slide. I thought those slides were part of the training materials. That was why I am asking.
That's correct, Bashiro. This is the PowerPoint slide that is in a video format.
Okay, all right. So like I need to download the video. I need to go through the video. All right, thank you very much. I can go through it. Let me also try one or two scenarios in Sierra Leone, which I can share. And in the next session, I will have something to contribute. Thank you very much.
That'll be so kind of you, Bashiro, so that we can actually know much more about your possible potential use cases and the opportunities that we have in terms of collaboration. For example, you could learn more from Stella, or vice versa, or Charles can give us some feedback. So these are very good live session of presentations, so that we are kept live for a few minutes. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yeah.
So any question before we go?
Kenneth?
Yes, Martha.
I'm still concerned with what notebook will I use so that I can do some analysis about land degradation.
Thank you very much, Martha. So you had raised the question of land degradation around the Dodoma area. So as you can remember, we were using the DCAL notebook for land change with the ARDC. So as part of the training materials, we've created the session 2 and 3, which gives you an overview of which notebooks to work on. And just giving you an overview is that, as you can see from my from my small screen that you're able to see the various options in terms of the notebooks. So specifically, we have opportunities to work on the crop, vegetation detection, and what extent, and some extent of looking at the example from Wallace. Vegetation detection also gives you an idea similar to what we had last time in, let me look for the example of SIMU, or rather better, I can open the file in QGIS of some of the work we did with Benedict. It was giving something similar to what we wanted to achieve with those previous analysis, giving you an overview of the land change over time, giving the various assessments. So as we are talking, I'll be able to open that file that I worked on recently. As I open also the work we did with Benedict, your colleague. So the beauty of much of this work that you're doing, you can actually export the work as shape files and take them to your QGIS for further analysis or ArcGIS for mapping. So for example, vegetation detection is able to give you an overview of similarly what you're looking for, because it has an assessments of NDVI and has vegetation index over time, having an area, like this is a favorite area some colleagues of ours have worked on, gives you an assessment of the MAU, the time steps, and et cetera, and over time you can see areas of significant change. And this is the export. These of the exports from this can guide us on the changes of the areas. And as we are talking right now, I'm opening the work we did with like for this example that I'm talking about right now. So I was able to export my work as these two files, which were like GeoT files, and I was able to do much more in terms of visualization to get some assessments in terms of vegetation change or degradation over time. This is an area around Mau Forest, which there's a balance of urbanization and afforestation, possibly because some people are growing some crops around some areas. So why you're wondering why I have an image in the background, using your QGIS, you can actually add layers from Google Maps or Bing Maps. So I'm using a layer from Bing Maps, and actually my work is just these two files, which gives my assessments over time. So this one gives you a whole assessment of the area, and the red and the green. So the red gives you a lot of deforestation, because those have significant values below the 0. And some of them above 0 are a kind of afforestation, and some of them are so beautiful, like you can see these look like parcels of land. People are busy doing some farming, and if I remove that layer, now I'll be able to see the specific area for change. And now bringing in my Bing Maps, I can be able to see which plot of areas. So the beauty of the work from the this analysis and many other analysis that we'll be able to demo for you as we move forward is that you can actually do much more in terms of what is presented from the notebooks, because from this one you're able to export the work as a TIFF file, and then there will be much more files that we can look at as we try to work on the degradation for Dodoma. Would that be okay, Martha, with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you so much. Anyone else with something to share with us? At least we had some feedback from Stella, Martha, Wallace. Karia, what you are successful with the notebooks. Have you seen the data for Zanzibar?
Yes. I can say for me, the feedback session is very important and useful. As we see if we have any concern, you as our mentors will go under what we have. You look on them and solve them as soon as possible. And yes, you deleted both of my accounts and are able to create new one and completed my exercise. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Karia. And also as a background, I think you are the State University of Zanzibar, and you're working as part of the Tanzania Resilience Academy. Also, I think you're also working with the colleagues from D-Lab on the geoportal. So there's a lot of linkages between the work you're doing. And also with your colleague, Dr. Zakaria, there's some work you've done on the mangroves. There are many, many use cases that we are happy to receive from you. Thank you so much. So anyone else with feedback, or at least we can end up with a group photo with our screens on or off.